Hi, learners. Good day to you all. How are you all doing today? So today we'll be looking at verbs, and under verbs, what we want to look at is the use of the anomalous verb has, have, and had. So what are verbs? We all know verbs to be action words or doing words. They are words that express an action, a state of being, or an occurrence in a sentence. When you have a sentence devoid of verb, that sentence is not going to make a meaning. That is to show the importance of verb in your sentence. So just like you have, just like a soup without salt, just like it tastes, that is the same way a sentence without verb looks like. So now, what exactly do we want to look at today? Today we want to learn about this verb has, have, and had, and their functions and usage. Now, when we have has, have, and had, they are called the anomalous verb, with has and have in the present form, and had is the past tense of has and have. So these two verbs, they have just a single past tense, and that is had. Has is singular. Has is singular. Have is plural. You use have when you talk about plural subjects. Has is used for just singular. Then had is the past tense of has and have. Now these verbs can perform just two functions. They perform two functions. The first one is the possessive function. What do I mean by the possessive function? They help to show ownership. These verbs here helps to show ownership. You can use them when you want to talk about ownership. For example, I have a car. She has a pen. They have a house. So that is the has, have, and had in when it performs the function of what? Possession. When it shows possession. And another one it can show is timekeeping. It functions as what? Timekeeping too. It can show the timekeeping function. This is when it shows you the time of an action. The time an action takes place in a sentence. Now, UTME is going to test you on the efficient use of has, have, and had. They will be testing you on the efficient use of has, have, and had. Do you know when to use has? Do you know when to use have? And do you know when to use had? Now, we have some rules guiding the use of has, have, and had in a sentence. The first rule is that when you use has, have, and had, you use been, being. You know, we have two kinds of this. We have the being and we have been. The first one, which is being, is used with his, was, are, but when you talk about has, have, and had, you should use been. Been should be used with it, not being. So, for example, you have he had been beaten, not he had been, being. No. When you use have, has, or had, you should use ben with it. Now, the second one is that after has, have, and had, a past participle verb should follow. After has, have, and had, you should use what? The verb in the participle form. What do I mean by participle verb? Participle verb are verb that ends with ed, d, en, t, or just n. So when you have your verb ending with ed, d, t, en, or n, those are what? Verbs in the what? Past participle. How do I know the verbs in the past participle form? This is up to you to learn. You have some verb that they maintain the same past tense and past participle. And you have some verb that their past tense form is different from their participle form. For example, I have beat. The past tense of beat is still beat, and the past participle is beaten. So you can see in my first example, under rule number 1, I used beaten and not beat, the past form. That is to tell you that when you use has, have, and had, it should be followed by a past participle verb. Now, in example for number 2, you have she has spoken. Spoken is the past participle of speak. Spoken is the past participle of speak. So here now, I wouldn't say she has speak. or she has spoke, or they have speak. Rather, I would use the past participle form, which is spoken. Spoken. She has spoken. He had spoken. They have spoken. Now, the next one is that has and have can only appear in just a clause. What do I mean by just a clause? It means that has, have can only appear in just a sentence. He has gone, not in multiple sentences. You can't use has and have in to join multiple sentences. No. So your has and have can only appear in one clause, just a single sentence. He has gone. They have gone. Not in more than one event. Maybe you have an example like, they have gone before I came. No, they have gone before I came. Or he has gone before I came. No, you are not going to use has and have in that sense. You can only use has and have when you have just a single sentence. He has gone, they have gone. He has spoken, they have spoken. Now the second rule is the fourth rule is do not use a definite time with has and have. Do not use a definite time with has and have. That is, when you use has and have, you do not have to use a definite time with it. For example, they have gone last year. Now, last year is considered a definite time here. Last year is considered a definite time here. So I am not going to, when I say they have gone, I'll just stop it there without including a definite time. So they have gone last year is wrong. The right one here is they have gone, just they have gone, without the definite time. Okay, but then we have an exception to this rule. When we say exception, it means that, okay, if you have a particular case, there is a special case that you can still use this. And what is that special case? We already said that when we use has and have, we should not use a definite time with it, right? But there is a case where you can use a definite time with has and have. Now, the exception is that if you want to use a definite time with has and have, you have to precede that time with either for or since. If you want to use a definite time with has or have, you have to precede that time with for or since. He has gone since yesterday. Now, I want to be definite about the time this particular person in question left. So I have he has gone since yesterday. But if you are not going to be using since, then you should not put a definite time. You can only put a definite time if you are going to be using if you will use since or for. Example one. Under this, you have he has gone since yesterday. They have gone for 1 year. Another thing to note here is that before you can use for and since, you have to note since is used when no number of hours, minutes, years, or days appears. You use since when the number of hours, minutes, years, or days doesn't appear. Let's look at this our example. I have he has gone since yesterday. He has gone since yesterday. If you look at this now, you would see that I do not have a specific time. When I say specific time, maybe 3 something or 4 months or 2 hours or 7 years. I do not have that. So that is when you use since. You use since when the time, the number of hours, the number of minutes, the years, the month is not specified. Now let's look at for. When you use for, then the number of minutes, hours, days, or years is being specified here. When you use for, it means the number of days, the number of minutes, the number of hours, the number of years is being specified. Look at this one now. They have gone for 1 year. You can see the number of year is being specified here. 1 year. 1 year. So when you have the number coming before that time, then you should use for. But if you have no number coming before it, use since. Let's take it again.
Yes, ma.
As and have can
Sorry,
only
ma.
appear, I mean,
I can't see us, ma.
who? I'm sorry about that. Can you see my screen now? Can you see my screen now, please?
Yes, ma. Thank you, ma.
Yes, ma. Yes, ma.
Oh, thank you for that. I actually thought I started sharing my screen immediately I started the recording, but I never knew I wasn't. Thanks for calling my attention to that. Okay, let's take it again then. Let's start it from the rule of using has, have, and had. Now, the first one is that when you use has, have, and had, you should use ben and not being. You don't use being with has, have, and had. Now we have he had been beaten, not he had been, be the being. No. The second one is that after has, have, or had, a past participle verb should follow. Now I already explained what a past participle verb is. A past participle verb is a verb form that ends in ed, d, t, en, or n. So how do you know your past participle verb? This is left for you to, study, because you have some verbs that maintain the same past tense form and past participle form, and you have some verbs that changes when it comes to their past participle. For example, now I have beaten. Beaten is the past participle of beat. So you have beat, the past tense is beat, not beated. Not I beated him yesterday. No. So the past tense for beat is still beat, and the past participle is beaten. Now you have another verb. You have begin, began. The past participle of that is begun. And you have some verb that maintain the same um base form, past tense form, and participle form too. For example, you have a verb like broadcast. So broadcast in the present form, broadcast in the past form, broadcast in the past participle form. So you do not say, oh, the news was broadcasted yesterday. No, you don't say broadcasted, because broadcast does not form its past tense by adding ed. It is the same form for the present, the past, and the participle. Another example you can have, you have catch, to catch something. The past form is caught and the participle is also caught. Put, when you say put it there. When you say put, the past tense of put is still put and the participle is also put. So you have some verbs like that that do not change their form for the past and the participle. And you have some verb that the past tense form is definitely different from the participle form. So now, spoken here is the past tense of speak. Speak, spoke, spoken. That is to tell you that whenever you are using has, have, or had, the verb that should follow should be a past participle verb, not the past form, not the present form. The verb that should follow it should be the past participle form. Another rule here is that has and have can only appear in one clause. What do I mean by that? It means that has and have can only appear in one sentence, just one sentence. He has gone. I can't say, oh, they have gone before I came. No, because in that sentence, you have two events, their departure and my own arrival. They have gone before I came. You can't have that. When you talk about has and have, it has to be just one event. They have gone. Simple. He has gone. Simple. Now, the next one is that you do not use a definite time with has and have. They have gone last year. Wrong. They have gone. Correct. But now I said there is an exception to this rule. When do we use a definite time with has and have? Because we can actually have that. We can use a definite time with has and have. Although the rule is that you should not use a definite time with them. But there are exceptions to some rules. Now, to use a definite time with has and have, you have to use either of these two words, for or since. You have to use either for or since before the definite time. If you want to use a definite time with has and have, then you should not forget to use for or since. When do we use for and when do we use since? You use for when that time you're talking about, when it is mentioned, when the number of hours, the number of days, the number of months, the number of years is mentioned, you use for. But when it is not mentioned, you use since. For example, I have one here. He has gone since yesterday. Not since 1 yesterday or since last month yesterday or since 2 years yesterday. No, it has gone since yesterday. You use since when the time, when the number is not mentioned, it is not specified. You use since. And you use for when the number of that time is specified. In the second example I have, they have gone for 1 year. I won't say they have gone since 1 year. They have gone for 1 year. Why do I have to use for here? Because the number is specified. The number of year is specified here for 1 year. For 1 year. She has been studying for 5 hours. She has been studying for 5 hours. She has been studying for 5 hours. Now I have 4 in that sentence because the number is mentioned. 5 hours. 5 hours. She has been here since yesterday. She has been here since yesterday. I won't say for yesterday. Why? Because I did not mention the number. Rather, I would use since. She has been here since yesterday. I hope you're with me. Are you following?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma.
Okay. So now let's look at the next one. The next one we have the had. When had is used in the sense of timekeeping, it should be followed by adverb of time. When had is used in the sense of timekeeping, it should be followed by adverb of time. Remember, in the beginning of the class, I mentioned that has, have, and had performs two functions. They perform two functions, and the functions are showing possession, that is showing ownership. I have a house. She has a pen. They own a car. They have a car rather, because we are talking about has, have, and had now. So that is one of the function. Another function you have here is the timekeeping function. Timekeeping function, so telling you about the time of action, the time and action took place in a sentence. Now, when had performs the function of timekeeping, that is showing the time of action in a sentence, then it should be followed by adverb of time. When had joins two clauses. In this example now, you have two clauses. I lost my key and I had gone to the market. I lost my key and I had gone to the market. So when had is used to be to function as timekeeping, now talking about the time of action, then you should use an adverb of time. You should use an adverb of time. I had gone to the market. I had gone to the market before I lost my key. Had here specifies the time and action took place. It means that I had already lost my key. I had already lost my key before I went to the market. I had already lost my key before I went to the market. Now, another example you can have under this rule is I lost my key after I had gone to the market. I lost my key after I had gone to the market. So when you use had to join two clauses and it is talking about the time of action, it should be you should introduce an adverb of time. You should introduce an adverb of time in that sentence. Now the last rule we'll be looking at here before we start working on questions is that you should use had when reporting a speech. You should use had when you are reporting a speech. Use had when you are reporting a speech. For example, she asked if I had seen her husband. She asked if I had seen her husband. Now, this is not a direct speech. This is a reported speech. Somebody have asked me this. Now I want to tell someone what that person actually asked me. So I am reporting it now. It is not direct from the speaker. Now I am reporting it to someone. I am reporting what was said to me or what I heard to someone else. So that is a reported speech. In a reported speech, you do not use has or have. You do not say, oh, it is singular now. She asked if I have seen her husband. No. Rather, you use had in that sense. You use had when you are reporting a speech. She asked if I had seen her husband. She asked if I had seen her husband. He said that he had spoken. He said that he had spoken. Now, I want to tell someone else now that somebody actually said something. That is reporting what that person said. So he said that he had spoken, not he said that he has spoken. Not he said that he has spoken. Now, another one we have here is when you are talking about conditional sentences. I hope you still remember what conditional sentences are. If sentences. Those sentences that have if in them, they are conditional sentences. So when you use a conditional sentence, in conditional sentences, it is preferable to use had. It is preferable to use had than to, has, or have. It is preferable to use had to, has, or have. For example, if he had attended, if he had attended, it would have been more fun. If he had attended, it would have been more fun. If he had attended, it would have been more fun. In that case, you have a conditional sentence. That is something actually happened because of something else. That is a conditional sentence, saying that something actually happened because of something else. So if he had attended, it would have been more fun. If he had attended, it would have been more fun. It means he did not attend and the party or the setting or the gathering lacked much fun. So now, let's look at some questions. Let's look at some questions under this. Okay, share my screen. Okay, can you see my screen, please?
Yes, ma.
All right, let's look at the
Yes,
first
ma.
question. This first question wants to test our knowledge of past participle. Do you actually know the past participle of a particular word? This is what the first question wants to test. Now, let's look at this. I should have dashed that you will not come. I should have dashed that you will not come. A, no. B, known. C, knew, and D, knowing. We already said it in the rule that whenever you use has, have, or had, it should be followed by the past participle form of that verb. Now it is left to you to identify which of this option is the past participle form of the verb. We already know the verb that we are supposed to use here. The verb here is know, right? So now you have to complete the sentence using the past participle form of know. What is the past participle form of know?
Known.
Option A, we have no. Option A, we have no. This is the present form or the base form. So this option A is actually wrong. Option B, we have known. Is it known? I don't know. Option C, we have knew. This is the past form. So this is wrong also. And option D, we have knowing. So this makes option B to be the right option because known is the past participle form of know. Known is the past participle form of know. So option B is the correct option here. Option B is the correct option. Option B is the correct option. I should have known that you will not come. I should have known that you will not come. Please, do you understand?
Ma.
Yes, ma.
Okay. Now let's move to the second question. So for option B, we have known. Now the next question we have Omogbai reported that the examination dashed before he arrived in the hall. Omogbai reported that the examination dashed before he arrived in the hall. A. Started. B. Have started. C. Has started. D. Are started.
See, had
Omogbai
started.
reported that the examination dashed before he arrived in the hall. Kindly mute your mic, please.
Had started.
Had started. Had started. Good. Now the first option we have started, the second one we have started. Why did we not pick have? Because have is the present form, and we are talking about a past tense, a past action here. How did I know that this is the past action? I have my verb reported and arrived, which means that this thing already happened. It is not in the present form, rather it is in the past form. So I have started to be wrong. I have started to be wrong. Now I have to pick between option B and option C. Option B says have started. Have is not going to be the right option here. Why? Because have is in the present form, and my question requires a past form answer. So option C is the right option here. Had started. Had started. Now let's move to question 3. Before the operation, the dentist found that his patient's teeth dash A have long decayed, B have long been decayed, C have long been decayed, D had long decayed, and E has long decayed. Now for my option A, I have long decayed. My option A is not going to be the right option because in my question, this is a past action. Before the operation, the dentist found. This indicates that this already happened. This already happened. It is not something that is just happening. Rather, it has happened before. So option A is actually wrong. Option B is also wrong. Option C is also wrong.
It is at long.
The
been
reason is
decayed.
just good, had long decayed, had long decayed, had long decayed. The reason option A, B, C, and E, the reason why they are wrong is because they are in the present form. And my question is talking about the past form. So I have had long decayed, had long decayed, had long decayed. Now, question 4, I have, had he known that it would rain? Had he known that it would rain, he dashed his umbrella with him. Had he known that it would rain, he dashed his umbrella with him. I have would
He would
have
have
taken,
taken. He would
is
have
going to
taken
take.
his umbrella with him.
Which of the would have taken? Because I have two would have taken there. I have one
D,
in option A
D,
and one in
D,
option
D,
B.
D,
D, D,
the one in option D.
Okay,
D.
option D. Thank you, option D. Option D. Because after your has, have, and had, you have to follow it with a past participle verb. And the past participle form of take is taken with en, not taken with ing. Question number 5. The teacher asked if she dashed seen her boyfriend recently. Now, this question is under reported speech. This question is under reported speech. And remember from the rule, we already said that when you have a reported speech, it is preferable that you use had. You use had when you have a reported speech. So what do you think the answer to this question is? I think I already gave it to you.
D,
Yes,
D,
yes.
D.
Hard.
Option D, hard. Option D, hard. So I have the teacher asked if she had seen her boyfriend recently. Please, can you mute your mic? Thank you. The teacher asked if she had seen her boyfriend recently. Now, I'll read out the question now. The question is not here on my screen. I'll read out the question. Question number 6. Question number 6. We got to the hall after the play dash. We got to the hall after the play dash. I have is started. Option A is started. Option B was starting. Option B was starting. Option D had started. Had started. Option D has started. Option D again has started. And option E would start. We got to the hall after the play dash. We got to the hall after the play dash. A is started. B was starting. C had started. And D has started. And E would start.
Had started.
Which of those options is correct?
Had started.
Had started, had started. So the right option to that question is had started, had started. Question 7. Musa asked Asmau what she dashed since he saw her last. Musa asked Asmau what she dashed since he last saw her. Sorry. Musa asked Asmau what she dashed since he last saw her. Option A has been doing. Has been doing. Option B had been doing. Had been doing. Option C has done. Option C has done. Option D was doing and option E might be doing. I'll read the question again. Musa asked Asmau what she dashed since he last saw her. Musa asked Asmau what she dashed since he last saw her. Option A has been doing. Option B had been doing. Option C has done. Option D was doing. Option E rather, might be doing. You want me to read the question again?
Had been doing.
Option B.
Had been doing. Okay. So if you have your question now, you can start dropping your questions, please. Oh, people have been calling my attention to my screen. I never knew. Thank you for the spot person that spoke. Thank you. All right, if you have your question, start dropping your question, please. Start dropping your question. Drop your question. Drop your question. Ask me questions, please. Okay, noted. Noted, noted, noted. This is your own question. Okay, noted. Ask your question. Learners, please ask question. Ask question. This is not the time to keep quiet. If you have any question, even if it is not related to this topic, please ask. Okay. Can you explain anything on syllables? Okay, when you say syllables in English, what are syllables? So when you say syllables, syllable is just a single unbroken vowel sound within a spoken word. A single unbroken vowel sound within a spoken word. So that is what syllable are. Or you can have it to be a unit of pronunciation. Usually that it usually contains a vowel sound. It usually contains a vowel sound. This means that it is not just a vowel sound. But it usually contains a vowel sound. It is just a unit of pronunciation. Now, your question, I believe your question is about syllables in UTME and not syllables from the beginning, right? So when you talk about syllables under UTME, then that should be under stress pattern. That should be under identifying stress pattern in oral form or oral section. You know, you have three sections. So the third one, the oral section, you have the stress pattern, which you will need to break down your words into syllable. So you have some words that are monosyllabic and you have words that are polysyllabic. When I say monosyllabic, I mean they have just one syllable. And when I say polysyllabic, I mean more than one syllable. Now, for stress pattern, for nouns and adjectives, usually when you're noun and adjective, when you're talking about just two syllable words, the stress is usually on the first syllable. The stress is usually on the first syllable. For verbs, when you have two syllable words, for verbs, when you have two syllable words, then the stress is on the second syllable. The stress is on the second syllable. And when you have a suffix, then the stress often falls on the second from the last, or third from the last. So I think to some extent I have answered your question because you said, can I tell you anything? Can I tell you anything on syllables? So I already told you something about it. Yes, it does. Inshallah, we'll look into that. We'll look into that. My learners did not come with question today. We did not come with question. Rohima, Aisha, Adeniyi, people that do ask questions. Other learners too. Some of you have never typed any question before. Ask, ask, ask. Rohima, don't you have any question today? Aisha, Benny, Beko. Others too. I think I have Adija Dosun. Amidat Dosun. Please ask your question. Sophiat, Aisha Akinola, ask your question, please. Okay, that thing is whose question was that? Usna.